Yo! Video games.
Damn.
Camelot!
Oh, I did also work on the 3DS, the DS version of Jake Long, which had 3D.
Good morning, Chrono.
Oh, wow.
This looks so much like Shining Force 3 on Saturn.
Yeah, it's got that sort of 3D-ish look.
Yeah, I mean, this is all 2D, where that one had that 3D, 2D thing, but... How long does this prologue last, chat? When we actually start fighting shit?
2 hours. This feels like, honestly, steps away from, Jesus Christ, what's the series called? Ashitaka-ass looking Lunar.
Lunar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Lunar was the most JRPG fucking JRPG you could imagine.
Oh, that thing couldn't have been more 90s anime JRPG.
Yeah, like the epitome, like the way it looked, everything about it. Lunar was like, yeah, that's the most JRPG shit I have ever seen.
There's going to be an N64 RPG, but the N64 died.
Dun, dun, dun.
So I got switched over to this.
Same thing with Animal Crossing.
Well, it actually came out in Japan on N64.
64 DD, right? Wasn't it a DD game?
Was it a DD game? I don't think it was supposed to be, and then it didn't make it.
Get it.
Okay, great.
It was a regular game. I think the exclusivity and sort of like rareness of it made it feel like it was a 64 DD game.
Oh yeah.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Fucking Wild Hearts. I think that's what it was called.
Oh, the dating sim one?
Like, the PlayStation Western visual, like the Western...
Wild Arms.
Wild Arms, thank you. Yeah, Wild Arms. Reminds me of the visual style of Wild Arms. Yeah, Wild Arms. Sorry. I watched my friend play a lot of that game.
Wild Arms.
Yeah.
Wild Hogs, yeah. That's the other RPG I like a lot.
Yes. I knew it. I do think he'll die. Sorry, buddy.
Oh my god, it's just Shining Force. With the way the battles kick in?
Yo.
Yeah, I think these like 3D, not 3D visuals are pretty... I think this is some of the stuff that has aged like the most brutally in old 2D games, you know? Like very few games have come out looking good, and mostly they were rare games, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like, we're just gonna digitize these 3D characters type of shit.
Yeah, because it uses the pre-rendered scale down into sprites shit.
Yeah. Like that zooming in on the background stuff is like woof.
1,000 Arms. That was the other one.
Yeah, I think it was kind of the same way. It reminds me of shit, what's the other one? Saga Frontier.
Oh, but yeah.
Not Saga Frontier 2, which was all like painterly and you know, looked like a moving painting. Saga Frontier 1 had a very similar, like, yeah, we're just going to, you know, 3D stylize our characters and 2D the shit out of them.
Oh my god.
Was there a Paper Mario on Game Boy Advance?
There was definitely a Mario story game.
What?
There's Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
Yeah. Because there wasn't a lot of like stuff on the Game Boy Advance, man. Like I'm trying to think of like first party stuff.
Yeah, I didn't even have a Game Boy Advance, really. I might have had one like randomly here and there, but I played like Mario 3 on it, and that was about it.
Like I did. Like I remember specifically like getting it. I think I got it early, and I had like Tony Hawk and stuff. I forget where I got it. I think I had a Japanese one. And I remember getting it like a week or two early. I just like, you know, try to like flex on people by going around and having it. The nerdiest of all flexes.
Shadow Up, thank you.
You know, it's kind of weird. Nintendo had their own first-party RPG franchise with this game and just kind of let it go.
Well, they also had, you know,
Let it
the
go.
other one, the big one.
What? Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem.
That's been going on for at least 2 years
Yeah,
now.
but that's a strategy RPG.
That's the same shit.
Yeah.
It goes into the same category.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
They had it. They had it in their hands. They were so close. Go find help. Well, fuck you. You don't have ability. Thanks, buddy. About Earth on a Mother. The creator said he is done. He said he has no more interest in ever making any more. And he owns it. As I own Pokemon. Well, we only own a third of Pokemon. God. I can't do shit. How big is this fucking town?
Pretty fucking big.
Yeah, I don't think I agree with the idea to have like little sound effects for every text blurb.
Yeah, they're a bit much.
I think that's a Dragon Quest thing. Started there, and it's kind of like, you know, that's like was their favorite game of all time. Now it's Splatoon. Japan. I don't know if you saw that. Splatoon is about to become the best-selling game of all time. Splatoon 3 is about to become the best-selling all
In Japan?
in Japan.
So it sold 2 million units. Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry. So it probably is selling like 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like...
And the girls have like, the younger girls have high-pitched squeaking sound bubble noises.
Oh, that's true. It's okay though, chat. It's alright. We got a way better RPG series anyways now from Nintendo. We don't need gold. Yes, it's called Xenoblade.
oh, I thought you were talking about.
I love Camelot, but they employ 45 people. People ask why Kate can't do another Golden Sun. I'm like, well, when Mario Tennis and Mario Aces sell like 3 to 5 million each, and it takes them
20 minutes. Make a
3
game.
years for 40 people to make that game. I wonder why.
Yeah, those games are. The latest ones, man. I don't know.
They're not good.
They're not. They're pretty bare bones.
I mean, they got better over time, and thankfully it was free DLC, but it was just kind of like they sold you. They literally Street Fighter V did. They sold you half the game.
I thought you were going to say Fire Emblem, Simmons.
Simmons keeps forgetting about Fire Emblem.
It's a strategy.
He's forgetting about it.
Yeah,
And it's not as good.
It's got dating sim and shit. It's an RPG.
Yeah, he thinks it's like keeps forgetting how much better it is.
Nah, it's not. Fire Emblem's cool, but you know, you eat my ass compared to the other game. What are we doing?
I mean, Nintendo seems to think so. It's better. There's more Smash characters in that. That's how you know.
Let me get more help again.
I think there's more Fire Emblem characters than Mario characters in Smash.
Almost.
And Fire Emblems just kept cutting in line when it came to Smash releases.
Yeah, Fire Emblem kept cutting in line.
Hey, you just went through. Yeah, no, I didn't.
And I remember, because I was super anticipating this game, because Shining Force 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's same developers, same damn art style and everything. Yes, I was eavesdropping. But a lot of people are like, this is like my favorite RPG ever, and I think what happened to a lot of people is there was a good 5 years where Nintendo period did not have an RPG outside of Pokemon on anything.
Quest 64.
Yeah.
The best.
Quest. Like, RPGs just kind of went away. Square went to Sony, and everyone else followed.
Mystery Woman appeared.
Bop of a boss theme. So I think a lot of people got really hyped up on playing their first RPG, which was Golden Sun. And look, I love the game and I love the developer, but I mean, it's like, compared to like Chrono Trigger, if I'm asking 7, no.
Simmons being real.
No.
Damn.
It's kind of insane how hard the PS1 whooped the N64.
Oh yeah.
Kind of insane how Sony took over, right? Of like all of the big developers that had existed and could exist, Sony of all things ended up being the big one.
You know what's funny though? Both Nintendo and Sega brought it on them fucking selves with Sony.
By pettiness.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Being petty.
Yeah, Sega kind of imploded. And both of them had the opportunity to literally have Sony be their partner on their console.
Yep.
And both said no. Well, Nintendo backstabbed Sony real bad because of just outright pettiness. And Sega just ignored the talk just because, like, Sony's never made a video game console. What could they offer us? I don't know, money. Money and hardware?
PS1 is the ultimate, like, JRPG system. It really is. I don't think there's more, like, per capita really good JRPGs on any system than a fucking PlayStation 1.
Yeah, well, if you count Japanese, like, Saturn is like 2.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have the Squaresoft stuff, which is a big chunk of it. It's like, you know, they got Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on the PlayStation eventually too.
Anthology, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now technically now every system's a fucking JRPG piece because they all been re-released on everything.
I mean, I remember when I was when PS1 and 64 were out. I was a 64 fanboy, and like I remember like the Nintendo fanboys would get into discussions with PlayStation fanboys. This is before the internet chat, so you had to have these discussions in person. and they're like, oh man, I'm like, PlayStation's got cutscenes, but yeah, you gotta like load. Every time I remember like, yeah, you gotta play a game, you gotta like load and sit there. I make hot pockets and wait for the game to play. And
Saturn did not have Grandia, Chad. Saturn had Grandia in one place in the world.
One place, but now you can play it in English.
Sure, you can now, but like saying Saturn had Grandia is kind of like, yeah, sorta.
Sort of.
yeah,
Kind of.
Or in Japan, Saturn was like, like a little distance.
Saturn had Grandia if you spoke Japanese.
Saturn was a nice distance second.
civil discussion. And then I remember I was like that until I got my first PlayStation. I'm like, man, this is awesome. I love PlayStation.
Grandia, don't get me wrong, Grandia's actually one of my favorite RPGs ever. Ever, period. Love the game. But it's just fucking Laputa, though.
But I did love my Nintendo 64 for multiplayer.
Unapologetically just ripping that movie off.
And that's the one thing I will love the Nintendo 64 is for their multiplayer. So that 4-player controller port built right in.
You know what's funny, thinking about it that way? The N64 really brought multiplayer to the forefront of gaming because, multiplayer exists and we always liked it if a game had 2 players or whatever, but like there was always this fucking multi-tap and nobody ever had that many controllers, blah, blah, blah. But the multi-tap was kind of like the big barrier because nobody could ever find the damn thing or whatever.
It was like if you multi-tap in PS2, it was fucking difficult.
And to be honest,
it was a process.
Outside of like the GameCube and the Dreamcast, there's really isn't many more options that have just 4 controller ports like right on the front.
So that was like a big thing of the N64.
The Xbox?
4 controller ports.
Xbox does. Yeah. And the funny thing is on the Dreamcast, like unless it's sports games, you really kind of got to go out of your way to find 4-player games.
4-player games, yeah.
But sports games as 4-player games is actually very valuable.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do split
what's crazy,
screen,
though, is just that Nintendo had this whole fucking like, okay, here's our niche, if anything, was multiplayer, right?
Right.
And they just completely fucking lost the plot by the time the GameCube came out.
Right.
Because they didn't want to embrace online.
Right.
Their literal attitude is like, gamers don't want to play games online. That, rest in peace, but it was one of the dumbest things that Wada said when he was alive.
Yep.
Was that gamers don't want to they want to have connectivity with the Game Boy Advance. Oh, shut up! No, they don't.
Well, we want people to connect with our hardware, not other people.
Yeah. So them dropping the ball that fucking hard, kind of like I feel is like a why, and people don't know this, but the GameCube sold worse than the N64.
Yes.
Is what really kind of put Nintendo in a hole.
GameCube didn't specifically do great in any region, while like N64 did really good in the US.
In the US, yeah.
Right, and I don't think GameCube really excelled anywhere.
No, GameCube just sort of like flopped around.
Yeah.
Everywhere. So it was kind of interesting how, like, you're right, Kenny. Like, N64's big old thing was the 4-player, the multiplayer. Mm-hmm. And then Nintendo basically just thought, people were just going to play couch co-op for fucking ever? Like, no. We like it, but,
This is an RPG. It seems fine.
Yes.
Chat, what's the most impressive GBA game?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Impressive, not ones that you like. Like,
to me,
what's the craziest visuals and all this nutty shit?
Metroids.
There's that Asterisk and Obelix game. It's a full-on 3D fucking platformer on the system. But that's like very technically.
Ooh, Bionic Commando's fun.
RE2 is not on this system. Shut up. No way. Astro Boy does look good, but it's just good. It's just good animation.
Tetris.